Well, there we go. Top of the hour for some of you guys, and it's half past the hour for Team India. Welcome to the call. We have people from all around the planet getting involved with us tonight. We're here to examine the opportunity known as Aurum. We're going to take a look at that, but before we start, I would like to share a very short 3 to 4 minute video with you, particularly interesting for our new guests. Because it depicts a 10-year roadmap from the company. And I think that's a very, very strong proposition to lay out their intentions for the next 10 years. And without further ado, we'll play this for a few minutes, guys. And I want you to absorb the music. That's part of it. It crescendos towards the end. And I also want you to take notice of the dates and the numbers on this particular video. I see this video 3, 4, 5 times a day because I play it in front of all of my Zooms. This is just one I'm doing right now, but I do many of these per day at different times a day. I do it to different audiences: Brazil, Norway, India, the Malaysian team, and today for the English-speaking markets, we translate those. It's spoken in English and translated to those languages, for instance, Hindi. But tonight it's English only, so welcome to the call. And let's start with this 10-year roadmap from Brian Benson, the CEO. Have a listen to this, guys.
February 2023. The world was still living by the old financial logic, but we pressed start. We wanted to create an ecosystem that would unite artificial intelligence and finance to make asset management simple, scalable, and secure. That's how Aurum was born. The starting point was EX AI Bot, the first AI-powered trading solution, an algorithm that laid the foundation for an entire era. From that moment, we began expanding at the speed of light. We've built and are implementing a vision that includes trading AI bots, exchanges, neobank, crypto cards, and real-world asset tokenization, official registration in Hong Kong, and the first features in global media. The creation of Aurum Neobank, the launch of Zeus AI Bot, and the flash loan license surpassing $1 million in profits. The opening of our headquarters in Dubai, where hundreds of industry leaders gathered. The world started to talk about us. We were featured by Binance, Benzinga, Crypto Reporter, and Blockchainwire. Forbes called us the new infrastructure of global finance. But this is no time to pause. We're gaining momentum. We launched Aurum Academy, strengthen our team, and appoint Brian Benson, a professional with 27 years of experience, as our CEO. Global events in Vietnam, Dubai, and Antalya. Thousands of cards sold, and the launch of the AI agent ecosystem. Today, we stand on the stage of Token 2049 Singapore, alongside the leaders of Binance, Tether, KuCoin, and Tron. And this moment once again proves Aurum is a global ecosystem of worldwide scale. But the most important part, this is only the beginning. The next decade will be one of expansion. In 2025 to 2026, we bring Aurum Neobank to the mass market. Hundreds of thousands of users, millions of transactions. The launch of Aurum Exchange, which reaches $5 billion in trading volume within its first year. AI bots manage over $100 million in assets. The first 5,000 cash-in and withdrawal terminals appear. Aurum establishes its presence in 10 countries and secures its position in the global market. In 2027 to 2028, we raise the bar. Neobank reaches 2 million users and 1.5 million cards. During this period, Aurum DEX, a next-generation decentralized exchange, launches. Personalized AI-based services emerge. Credit scoring and capital management. The first RWA deals worth $500 million are integrated. The terminal network expands to 20,000 points across 20 countries. By 2029, Neobank evolves into a super app. Flight bookings, taxis, car rentals, food delivery, while transactions exceed $20 billion. Aurum DEX cements its position within the ecosystem with $5 billion in trading volume, becoming a key element of Aurum's DeFi direction. AI agents operate for hundreds of thousands of businesses, and RWA grows to $5 billion. Aurum becomes an ecosystem that accompanies users every day. In 2030 to 2033, we reach global scale. Neobank's user base hits 12 million and over 10 million cards. Inside the super app, 15 to 20 integrated services and partnerships with 500 global brands. Aurum Exchange reaches $90 billion in trading volume and enters the top 10 global crypto exchanges. The terminal network expands to 100,000 plus locations across 50 plus countries. The annual Aurum Global Summit gathers 5,000 leaders. By 2033 to 2035, Aurum neobank enters the top 5 global neobanks with a valuation of $10 billion plus. Aurum Exchange remains in the top 10, while Aurum Dex surpasses $20 billion in trading volume. AI manages over $5 billion in assets, and RWA exceeds $20 billion. We are present in 75 countries, with 1,000 global partners and over 100,000 terminals. The Aurum Global Summit brings together 10,000 industry leaders. Aurum becomes the symbol of a new financial era, a system that made finance accessible to everyone, a story that has already transformed the industry, and a future that already belongs to us.
Well, there you go. What a movie, almost a feature film. With the sound. Really enjoy that. And it's nice to see that the company laying out their intentions for the next 10 years. Welcome to the call. Abefi, welcome to you. Business here as well. Alan C., how are you? Aurum team. I see you're in the room. Bernard, how are you? We've got Brian as well here. Welcome. Bill, how are you? I just jumped past you there a second ago. Chinwe, Chris, how are you? Welcome to the call. Christopher, how are you? The Queen Nejla's here as well. Coach K's here. Christine's here. Let's see, go down a little bit. We've got David in the house. Dr. Joseph, how are you? Fred is here as well. And Freedom Builders is in the house as well. Froda, how are you? Welcome to the call. Funeka is here as well as GK, Gabriel, Gary, Gulam is here as well. Gordon's in the house. Graham's in the house. Guys, you're not on your own. We've got 181 people, and it's moving up as I speak because I can see these names jumping here. Harja, how are you? Inga's here. Ingrid's here as well. iPhone Van Verda. That's the iPhone of Verda, I would assume, from the Netherlands. Welcome to the call. It's in the numbers. It's back in the house. We've got Jason here, Jim here, John's with a H. John without a H is here as well. We've got Josh. How are you? We've got Josiah, or Hosiah, maybe. If the J is pronounced like a H. We've got Joy in the house. Kajartan's here. Kajel's here. Kajel's. There's a couple of Kajels. There's Kajel Ann and Kajel Kelp. So welcome to the call. Lady V's here. Lassie's here. As well as Lisa, Lawrence, Mark, another Mark, Amiri O is here as well. Mac Dave is in the house. Melia, Michael, Mike, Mikel, Mikel, Moses, how are you? Welcome to tonight's call. We've got who else in the house? Mr. Whitehawk. How? What a great name, Mr. Whitehawk. Mummy's here, but not MMY. MUMI. My Wia's here. My Wia's here again. How is that possible? You're in twice. Maybe you're logged in on a phone and on a laptop. ND Looks, how are you? Owner Paul is in the house. Paul is in the house. Phil is in the house. Puffajan. Not sure. Robert, how are you? Robert DS is here as well. All those names jumped up again. Robert L is in the house. Robin is in the house. Sat Chandler's here. Sir Lancelot, all the way from, I believe, Miami, possibly. How are you? Sukdev's here, Serge is here, Terrence is here, Thomas is here, Tom is here. Who else have we got? Torandre, how are you? Welcome to tonight's call. We've got Trade Enric here. Toyoyo's here. Let's go way on down to the bottom. Ufoma is here as well. I'm scrolling down. Usha, wow, what a great name. Usha, I know an Usha van Roosecker. Let's go back down. Oh, it's jumping up. There's people coming in late. We've jumped from 181 to 196, 197. What's happening is these guys are coming in 10 minutes late. Not good. Not good. However, if it's your guest, it is good because I've delayed this to allow your guest to attend. You should have your guest here on time. I'm going to go to the very bottom. We've got Vincent here. We've got Vujilandi's here. Yankee, how are you? Welcome to tonight's call. And of course, Zoom user, you're always here. Welcome to the call. Let's get the presentation started. How do I do this? We go here, we click this, and we get started.
Recording in progress.
Thank you so much for attending this short presentation. I'm here to take a look at and examine the platform known as Aurum. I came across this almost a year ago, back in April 2025, but it's been around for quite a long time. It's been there's evidence that they've been operating part of the operation since the 11th of January 2023, so over 3 years ago. But we'll have a look at it. I'm here to turn it upside down, inside out, just to have a look at who's behind this. Very important. I want to check like who the CEO is. Do they have experience? Do they have money? Then I'm going to look at their products to see is there any interesting in that line of things as well. And for those of you who want to hang out at the very end of the call, I'm going to take a quick look. Somebody's asked me to have a look at the compensation plan to see how that stands up as well. With that said, I don't work for this company. I'm not employed by them. I'm not paid to present this information. It's just my own opinions, my own thoughts, my own ideas, my own due diligence, which I'm happy to share with you. But of course, it's always prudent to do your own due diligence and seek professional advice. I would usually run it past the likes of an accountant, somebody like that who understands business, just to check the different areas. There's different laws and legislations in different jurisdictions. You've got to check for your own region. I don't know all the different regions. I know there's new MiCA laws started now in Europe. We need to have a look at that. But with that said, we're not here to. We're only here to share information with you and educate you on the platform. So again, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you any financial advice in that respect. I'm not an accountant or a CPA. I'm just kind of here just to turn it around, have a look at it, and see what I can find out about it. The interesting thing is the legal and corporate structure is evolving and growing quite rapidly. We've noticed this European division with the Aurum neobank. We see that in the Emirates, they're operating the Aurum Investment LLC. But I think what might be known as the parent company or I don't know what you call that when there's like a thing sits on top. What do you call that? Some kind of, I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, that's the Aurum Foundation, and it's based in Hong Kong. We've actually had a look at their registration in Hong Kong. We've had a look at the license issued by, they've had a commercial license issued out of the Emirates. And next week in the Maldives, they're announcing some very, very interesting updates on licensing and things like that, which is coming on board. When we look at the people behind it and the corporate infrastructure, we can see a massive diversity of people from different regions, different parts of the world. It's not like a US company or an Emirates company. It seems to be quite diverse, people coming together. For instance, on the left-hand side, you'll see Leonardo. He's from South America. Now, this guy worked at government level in blockchain, and then he went to work. You can see there he was a former Binance strategic partner, and Brian Benson, the CEO, said that he would have nobody in the world help develop his exchange than this guy, Leonardo. So he really thinks highly of this gentleman. There's going to be two exchanges, a centralized and a decentralized one. That's a bit like Binance is a centralized exchange. Trust is owned by Binance, but it's decentralized. This company is going to have two exchanges as well. Right now, they've already pre-launched a public beta test centralized exchange with KYC. Later on, they'll introduce a DEX or a decentralized exchange. We've got Director of Strategy from Asia, Mr. Al Risky. We've got Nicholas Kelland, I believe he's from Australia. He's heading up the partnerships division. Then these two gentlemen, both Brent and Tobias, these are VC advisory. So they deal with the hedge funds, with the banks, with the big guys, the guys with the money, the venture capitalists. And I believe these guys are heavily invested in this as well. They've spoken on stage for Aurum. They attend events around the world, and they're looking to build the liquidity and the partnerships around the world. So that's a little bit about the people behind. Also, we've got Bukhari, who's the ex-deputy finance minister from Sierra Leone. He's on board. And so is Nick Patel. Nick Patel is the founder of Clink Gold, CLINQ, Clink Gold. And also, he's the CEO of Bank of Bullion. And I will tell you, bullion, gold, what are we talking about? We're talking about a gold offering that this company's put together in the RWA space. Now, what does that mean, RWA space? What are you talking about? RWA stands for real world assets. Gold is a real world asset. Real estate is a real world asset. A data center is a real world asset. Real businesses producing money. But when you take these real world assets and tokenize them and put them on the blockchain, it becomes more movable. Like gold is a great product. It's God's money. It's the real money. But it's very difficult to transact with. You can't go in a shop and buy an ice cream with gold. You can't move it through borders. It's very difficult to get through the airport. So it's not very great mechanism for transacting. But when you tokenize it, you take the real bar of gold and you fractionalize it and put it on the blockchain, Then just like Bitcoin, there are 21 million Bitcoins. You can move it from one person to another and you can transact with it. And that's what these guys are doing. Real gold in the physical metal format is available for customers, and the digital version will also be available on the blockchain. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But let's move on to the main man, is Mr. Brian Benson. This gentleman's from the United States. He did his schooling or his education in Santa Barbara. We did some homework on this man. When he left university, he went straight into the banking world, and he became a trader with Morgan Stanley, a very, very big, reputable bank in US. After that, he moved into what we call Web3, blockchain space, did very, very well. He was an ambassador for Algorand. And then he got hired by Binance. And what a job did he do at Binance? Let me tell you what I know. Binance went from nothing to $1 billion in 6 months. And the region that this man was in control of, this was the managing director for Binance LATAM. LATAM means Latin America, that's Central and South America combined, everywhere from Mexico on the US border, the whole way down through Chile, Peru, Colombia, all the way right down to Argentina, Brazil, big markets. This is the man that created Binance in that continent. And he built it in his own name, not in Binance's name. And when he established those markets, he did the due diligence, he did the banking relationship. Then CZ, the owner of Binance, then wrapped Binance around the work that this man had done. And up to 20% of Binance revenue, we're told, came from the efforts of this gentleman. And what does that tell us? It tells us we're dealing with a man with experience, we're dealing with a man with connections, and probably nobody better to steer the Aurum ship would be this gentleman, Mr. Brian Benson. I did a quick Google on him just to see, was this an actor or, but absolutely not. There's history here. We can see images when he was much younger. We can see images as he appears today. We can see the Binance shirt over here on the right hand side, and then on the left hand side, bottom left, I saw a Binance T-shirt. This is Brian Benson from Binance. We can't confirm that. Forbes, a reputable media company, they often do. They often interview these large CEOs. You've seen that yourself, and they also develop these rich lists. Who are the richest people in Asia? Or the top 100 richest people in the United States? Now, for Forbes to publish those rich lists, they've got to do a lot of research, a lot of data pulling to get them in the right order. They can't say, for instance, Bill Gates is the 11th richest man in America. For example, maybe he's the fourth. I don't know where he is, but you know what I'm saying? They can't publish things that aren't correct, being a reputable media company. But here they're talking favorably about this Aurum project. And it says here that Aurum's providing institutional grade trading. We also learned that at one point they had invited Mr. Brian Forbes to the Forbes Council, which is a big accolade, big recognition. They obviously know this man. They know his capabilities to invite and honor him on the Forbes Council. Then the next interesting thing was this Visa card that I'd seen. But not only is it Visa, I do believe that MasterCard, there's a MasterCard version as well. I've checked the issuing bank that issues these cards. It is a licensed, regulated bank. But this is a very, very interesting card. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But when you can see that Visa and Aurum, I mean, I have one here in my hand if you have a look. When you've got Visa and Aurum co-branding on the same piece of plastic, I mean, that tells you, or I would imagine, the due diligence has been done by the issuing bank. They would most certainly have to know who this Brian Benson guy is. They would have to, I assume, maybe ask for last year's accounts. They would check their licenses, whatever is necessary to create this partnership. I think it stands very favorable for Aurum that now that they have the Visa on board using this MasterCard and Visa rails. These are traditional banking rails for not centuries, for decades. These are very, very famous. And to have Aurum on a branded card, I think it speaks volumes. Brian Benson himself traveled the world, particularly all of last year. He was noted in 2025. He was noted in Argentina at the Ethereum conference. He was then in London. He was in the Netherlands. He was in another blockchain summit in Germany. He was in Slovenia. He was in Greece. He was at this one here in Singapore the same time as the Formula One racing. 25,000 people showed up to this one. And the tickets, I'm told, on the last day were $1,400 to get in to see this man. So he was on stage. They had a booth or a stand at this as well. And what this tells me is that we have a company here, Aurum, that's not afraid to be put in an arena of expertise. You know, when you go to the largest blockchain conference in the world, you're exposed. You're there to be questioned. You're there to be examined, and to have a stand there and to be speaking on stage, strutting his stuff, building his brand, looking for partnerships, looking for products. That's what he was doing as he traveled the world. He was also at the Finance Week in the Emirates. He spoke, I believe, in Dubai and also in Abu Dhabi. He's been interviewed by, you saw him there, maybe heard on a video you might have heard. He was interviewed by Benzinga, by Coinchapter, by what was that other one? Crypto Reporter, and Forbes also have written about it. But he was also interviewed by Wendy O, a famous, you call social media influencer. And this is quite interesting. I actually went and listened to this. Maybe that could be part of your due diligence. Have a listen to Wendy's questions. And more importantly, listen to Mr. Brian Benson's answers. And that might gauge or give you a feel to what he's looking to accomplish here. He was then seen on stage here in a panel of experts. And here is Brian Benson from Aurum on the second from your right-hand side of your screen. But look who's he sitting next to. I'm talking about the co-founder of Sandbox and the co-founder of 1inch. Go check out those companies to see what's Brian Benson doing here. Is he considered a global expert in this arena? He was also invited to the Satoshi Roundtable, and then here he is with his arm around the billionaire. Yeah, the founder of Binance, Brian Benson. Maybe a slightly younger version, but at the same time, we now know we're dealing with the real man, the real Brian Benson from Binance. We managed to get a copy of the registration in Hong Kong. We actually sent somebody to see was there offices there, but there's not, or not that we could find them. So I assume this was established by maybe their accountancy firm or their lawyer firm for a registration in Hong Kong. But then we also noticed that the government of Dubai had issued a commercial license to them. And this is on their office wall in the Dubai offices. And you can go along there and take photographs or take copies of it if you wish. So that's as much as I could do in terms of finding out a little bit about who's behind it, the company, the structures, and those kind of things. And I suppose the next thing we need to look at is, well, why would we even look at a company unless they had an interesting product to serve? And they have a massive range of products, quite an incredible range. I never actually counted how many products they have, but I'm going to guess about 15 different types of products. This is one here that has been tested and used in its prototype version. You can use a credit card on this machine and a debit card on this machine, but guess what else you can use? You can pay for goods and services with cryptocurrency on one of these. Now, most shops have one, but it doesn't accept crypto. This one does, and this could be a big play when this rolls out into full mass production. And why is it interesting to you? Because my understanding is they're writing software right now called micro payment software, which means if you were the person that introduced this device to a shop, let's say you have a friend, a colleague, a relative that has a business and they have a point of sale terminal. If you were able to get them to take this one so they could accept crypto payments in addition to their standard payments, then your digital wallet is coded into the software, meaning that every time this machine's used, you get paid. So that's what might be interested in it from your point of view. They're also designing these ATM machines. These are two-way ATM machines. So you actually put cash into them like a vending machine. You can put the cash in and it will generate cryptocurrency of your choice to your digital wallet if you have one. And conversely, let's say you need paper money from your country. Well, then you can actually, and if you had cryptocurrency on your account, you can generate a QR code, present it to the ATM machine, and out comes the cash sound and all. So these are two-way ATM machines in development. They've also launched for public beta testing their exchange. This functions just like any other exchange, I assume. But the difference here is huge because Brian Benson has offered that 50% of its commissions will be fed back to the community. Now, when you think of companies like Coinbase and Binance and these big crypto.com, these big firms that you've heard of, where do they make their money? Or how do they make money? Why is Binance a $1 billion brand, $1 billion, guys, because transaction fees. And imagine Binance offered 50% of what they made back to their customer base. I mean, they're not going to do that. But Brian Benson is approaching the market, offering a 50% commissions back to the community. So that could be quite interesting when it goes into its full launch, its full glory. But it is working up and running now since November 2025. I suppose, I mean, I've no interest really in this other than, I mean, if you, let's say you had, I don't know, USDT and you want to get some Bitcoin, you can swap on this. But they do have actually, yes, here's an interesting thing. They have this product. It's a liquidity staking product. And what does that mean? For those of you that might have a little bit of USDT or let's call it XRP, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, sitting in an account, sitting in a wallet, sitting on exchange, sitting offline, doing nothing, just sitting there. On this particular product, it can generate a yield. Okay, it can give you yields every year between 17 and 20% a year. Now, I don't know any bank in the world where you can get 17 to 20% a year. I don't know any real estate where you can get 17 to 20% a year yield. That's kind of impossible. Real estate generally would offer 5 to 10% a year if you get the right real estate in the right area. But to get 17 to 20% on your money with no lock-in, usually a staking product might say stake it for 30 days or stake it for 90 days or stake it for 6 months. No, stake it for 1 hour and take it out if you want, or put it in for a day and take it out. So you can take your profit, your principal, your half and half, whatever you want. So it's instant liquidity staking up to 20% a year, which sounds like a fabulous product. Now, we touched briefly on this guy, Nick Patel. Nick is 25 years in the industry, particularly in the gold industry. He is the founder of Clink Gold. They are working with the government in Sierra Leone regarding the gold bullion. My understanding of this is you can order a product and 50% of the order is into the physical metal, the pure gold. Now, my understanding is the gold will be 22 to 24 karat gold. So it'll not be jewelry grade. Jewelry grade gold is 9 karat gold, 12, 14, maybe 18 karat gold. It's not pure. It's got impurities in it to make it harder for jewelry purposes. But this gold is pure gold. 24 karat 999.9 is what's known as pure gold. It's considered as money, no impurities in it. And it's coming at a 30% discount. And you can have 50% in the metal, and the other 50% of your product will be put into gold trading to produce a yield. You see, gold is very difficult to move. It sits and does nothing. Gold doesn't make money, actually. It just sits there. But when you trade gold, the other 50% is trading, you can generate a yield. You can get the gold to make you money. And that's how this product has been designed. And that's up and running already. And I believe they're about to launch a similar product to do with real estate. You can buy property for $1,000 somewhere in the world that will produce you money over and over and over again. So what I'd like to do now is listen to Brian Benson. This is a little snippet from a larger interview. And it's quite interesting because this man, he did it when he worked at Binance. He saw thousands of people becoming millionaires. But he wants to do it here now as the CEO of Binance. Let's have a listen to this just for a moment, guys.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today. So if we can come up with a system whereby there's hundreds of thousands of people in there, but 1,000 of these people be turned into millionaires, then those assets are inside of our platform. That turns us into a unicorn right away. And so that's really the goal that I have as an executive at the company is how do we get people that don't have $1 million today to get them to $1 million through saving, through yield bearing assets, through a lot, compounding interest, through a lot of these things that have been around for a long time, but that not everyone in the world uses. And these are tools that are super important to get us there. So that's how we're measuring it internally is if we can get to the point where we have 1,000 people that have become millionaires through our system and through working with our products, then that gets us really close to the unicorn valuation. And we want to be a fintech unicorn. I think Binance was the fastest fintech unicorn ever in the history. Yeah. I think it took less than 6 months. We used to have a slide about that in our pitch deck. So I'm pretty sure I've done this before. I've been involved in one of the fastest growing fintech unicorns in the world. And I think what we have at Aurum is actually very similar to when I started at Binance.
I think what we have here at Aurum is very similar to when I started at Binance. So this man is starting to feel an energy around this company, the growth, the ecosystem developing, and as he said himself, he's done it before, and that's why. I mean, if we were dealing with some kid who's attempting something for the first time with no experience, that would be a different equation than dealing with a man of this caliber who's done it before, who's helped generate that unicorn company, Binance. He was a managing director over there. He has the connections. He has the what with to pull something like this off. And you do need, I believe, for any company, a visionary leader. You do need that Elon Musk style of visionary leader, or Bill Gates. I mean, and Brian Benson wants to create $1 billion brand and 1,000 millionaires in the process. So, again, don't be misled that high earnings will be easily achieved. I mean, it would take a lot of work, I assume. But anyway, I just want to introduce you to the man himself. The platform itself, there's a $20 subscription for the whole year. So just like a gym membership or a golf course membership, this one's very inexpensive at $20, meaning probably most people could afford to get into the platform for $20. It's not that expensive. However, accessing the platform allows you to use a variety of products. And I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm sure you're not one either. So you can't be selling, what do you call these, securities, financial products. You can recommend a website. You can recommend YouTube. You can recommend Amazon. So there is an affiliate program where you can recommend the platform, but you can't sell products. You're not licensed to give financial advice. So please don't do that. But when your customer registers and pays that subscription to Aurum, then they are dealing directly with Aurum and not with you, because obviously you don't have any products to sell, or you don't have any of these Visa cards to hand out. It comes from the company. The products are coming from the company, so that your customer is dealing with the company. That's really how it works. Now, we talked about some physical products there: cards, gold, ATM machines, point of sale terminals. They also have some fabulous digital products, and I'm told this is their best version. This is the EX or XAI bot, however you want to pronounce that, XAI or EXAI. This product has been around since January 2023, 3 years ago. It was initially established for what's called accredited investors, for the high net worth individuals, for those VCs. That VC means venture capitalists. But a year and a half after it launched, they decided to open the door, let's call it for retail, to the affiliate program, because Binance had an affiliate program for growth. I think Crypto.com had one. Amazon have a very successful one. So they opted to move into this affiliate arena. I think it's September 2024. I mean, that's nearly 2 years ago. I first heard about this in April 25, about a year ago. So that tells me there's history. Is it sustainable? You'd imagine 3 years down the track, they've got it right. The AI is, I'm told, it deep learns, it's machine learns. They don't do what's called leverage trading. That's a risky thing to do. They do what's called high frequency spot trading only. And I think that's how they sustain itself. It's been very, very profitable. I mean, this is the profits for January 2026. I have seen February and March. Did I see March's? Not sure if I've seen March's turnover or profits, but this is January's published by the company. They publish a lot of this stuff to their community on Telegram and on different news flashes that goes out consistently to their membership. And also there's a lot of these details I'm pulling off their website and stuff. But this is January figures that it did $11 million in profits. And at that stage in January, well, as of the 1st of February, obviously so that's January's trading, but as of the 1st of February, this product had 77 million. So I imagine it's much more than that today. On average, it's doing about 17.5% monthly. I had a look at the results for 2023. Yes, for 2023. And I found them a little bit bumpy. Is that the right word? Like 1 month it did 9%. The next month it was doing 17%. The next month it was back down at 12%. The next month it was up at 60%. It was like up and down. I call it choppy. Choppy is probably the right word. But I noticed in 2024 results and 2025 results that it's much more consistent, much more smoother. And I can see here like if you look here yourself, 15, 17, 17, 17, 17, 16, 17, 18, 18, 17, 17. And I asked the question, I said, why is it choppy when it started like up and down, like 9%? Like, and there's nothing wrong with 9%, by the way, but it wasn't as smooth as what we're seeing here. And they said it's because the AI, it takes time to build the data. It takes a lot of transactions for it to memorize. And a bit like Chat GPT, you can type something into Chat GPT and it'll pull a decade of information right in front of your nose in 10 seconds. It's faster than humans. It's got no emotions attached to it. So it's got all the data feeds plugged in. I believe they've got what's called the Bloomberg feed, whatever that means. I know Bloomberg's a big finance company, but they have a Bloomberg feed. They have the data feeds coming from every exchange, every other exchange. They have all the social media channels fed in. And this AI has to read all that, and then it snipes. I'm told that's the word. It snipes a little bit of profit, and it tries not to risk. It's got its own, what do they call these? Very low drawdowns. It's got something they call it stop losses. They've hard stops, emergency stops, and they also are overseen by live traders at the same time. In terms of the security, I don't know, but we did ask, and they said they have multi-sig accounts, so not one trader can go into this and make a withdrawal from it. It's multi-signature accounts to get in, so more than one person has to be there to access any of the accounts. But the trading itself is conducted by the AI, not by human at all. They're there in the case of some unusual events or news that they can disconnect from the exchanges. And the liquidity is provided by the large exchanges, I'm told, by Binance. What was the other one? OKX was mentioned. KuCoin. I actually saw 2 or 3 of those accounts as well. And they show from time to time with appointment, you can see, there are wins, there are losses. You can see when they made that first deposit. And that's how we realized that the first deposit to this was made in the 11th of January, 2023. And that deposit was $1.5 million back then. And again, I think you can read about this on Forbes as well. They talk about Brian Benson closing a $12 million VC deal, and that gave the company an instant valuation of $100 million back at that point in time. Anyway, let's move on and talk a little bit more about this briefly. If the company or the fund itself was doing about 17.5% monthly, that's not what you get. So don't be misled that, oh, I thought I was getting 17. No, your account would be determined by you, by the deposit you decide to make. So they have this app on Google Play. They will have it very soon on Apple as well. So you'll download this banking app, or this neobank app, I think it's called. There's also a web version. There's also a decentralized version through Telegram. But the idea is you download this app, you'll get about 9 wallets. You'll get your own Bitcoin wallet, Ethereum wallet, USDT wallet. You'll get BNB wallet, and then they do a couple of meme coins. They do a Pepe and a Doge and things like that. So you get about 9 of these wallets, and then it's up to you to fund your own account. So in this example, if you're going to try this product, let's say you tried, I don't know, $100 or $130 or $146. There's no kind of package. It just, you put what you want. Like say you could do $202.46 as an example. All of what I just mentioned would fall into the basic category, and I'm told these accounts are enjoying benefits to the tune of about 10%. Not fixed, it's variable depending on the market, but based on the past performance, these accounts have been achieving in around 10% monthly, which is sensational. Again, past performance isn't indicative of what might happen in the future. I mean, nobody on this call can tell me what price Bitcoin will be tomorrow afternoon. We just don't know. But based on past performance, these are the statistics that they've offered. For those of you that could have a larger account, let's say $270 or $308 or $729, right? That's going to fall into the standard category. Those accounts are benefiting to the tune of 11%. For those of you who can do between 1 and 2,500, those accounts are getting 12%. And you can see yourself there, it just steps up. The larger the account, the bigger the potential benefit for that account is. I had a number of questions to ask about this when I heard about it. I wanted to know, how does the company make money? If they're paying out all this money to their customers, how does the company make its money? And I'm told that in trading, there's always these kind of profit splits. It's a bit like 60-40. The traders would take 40% and the customer gets 60. If it was a bigger account, it might be a 70-30 split. And then some of the bigger institutions, I think they cut at 80-20 deal. So like a hedge fund would get 80% of the profit and the trading team would take just 20% for their work. So that's normally how it works. How this works is similar to that. If the accounts are doing on average 17.5%, and let's say your account is achieving 10%, the company's getting the difference. They're making that spread. They're getting that 7% on all of those accounts. For those of you who can do 11%, the company makes 6. For those of you that can do 12, the company makes 5. For those of you that get 13%, the company's making 4. So in every instance, the company's making money. I think that's very, very important to have a strong company that it's also making money. It's not just one side of the house is winning. It's got to be win-win. My next question was, can we take the profit out? Is that possible? Or when can you take the profit out? They said, yes, you can take your profit out any day you wish. I said, every day? Is that possible? They said, yes, absolutely. If you want to take it out every day, you could do that as well. So that was good news. The other question I asked was, yes, what do you charge to take out these profits? I mean, I've heard of platforms that are charging like 8%, 10% on your withdrawals. So this company said, no, 1% would be the fee. And I thought that was very fair, very honorable, just 1%. So that was some of the questions I had around this. Again, it's not financial advice. I'm just sharing how that particular product worked. I actually was able to get my hands on a couple of accounts from customer accounts just to see how they perform. So I had some kind of track record to see. This account was funded with $500 and the start date was the 17th of April. Can you see down the bottom left-hand side of your screen? 17th of April, 2025. Now, it was funded with 500, but I couldn't see 500. I did see 882, and you can see that now inside the oval shape there, 882, which means this account has grown from 500 up to 882, and the profit would be $382 in this occasion. My question was, how long did it take to get from 500 up to this 882? How long did it take to make this $380? And the answer to that question is on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. And we're looking at the blue arrow there, 17th of September. Well, if the account was funded on the 17th of April, and we're looking at a timestamp here of the 17th of September, that's exactly 5 months. So in 5 months, the account went from 500 to 882. Well, I wasn't overly impressed with that because I thought, well, $382 in 5 months, I probably wouldn't feed my family for too long. But when I did the maths on it, it was sensational because when you work out the profit element, you take the profit, which is 382, yeah, and you put it on top of the deposit, which was the 500, and you divide the bottom number into the top. That's how I was told to do it at school. Divide the bottom into the top number, and that shows that this account achieved 76% in 5 months. Now, that's equivalent to buying a property for $100,000 on the 17th of April and selling that property on the 17th of September, 5 months later, for $176,000. That's 76%. Really, really good business. So for a small account, I thought that was quite sensational, Again, that's not financial advice. It's just, this is live data that's come from an existing customer on the platform. This was not shared by the company itself. So great results for a small account like that. And of course, you can do much less. You can do $100. I think that's the minimum they offer. Now, I then had a look at this larger account. Now, this account was started on the 10th of April last year, and it was funded with $10,000. So this would be a larger type of customer, maybe an accredited investor or a business owner. There was $10,000 put in, but look what it says here, 12,360. So this one had made 2,360. And again, we're interested to find out, well, in what time frame did it make this $2,000? And we can see it was started on the 10th of April. And if we look in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see this is the 16th of May. So from the 10th of April to 16th of May is 5 weeks only. So this customer is making like $400 or $500 a week passive. $2,300 profit in 5 weeks. I mean, that's crazy good. Now, we were able to track this account last year. We saw it going from 10,000 to 12,360. 5 weeks later, it jumped up to $15,500, made 55%. After 12 weeks, it jumped up to $17,000 in the account, And after 4 months, this particular account doubling. I'm not going to say yours is going to double like this, but this account did. Your account mightn't be a $10,000 account. I also noticed that this customer has the reinvestment button on, so they're compounding this account. Maybe your account's not going to do that, so but I'm just showing you this is one account. It ends in 1972. We can see that the whole way through. It is started on the 10th of April. And we can see the dates. These are timestamps from the 10th of July, 10th of August, 16th of May. So just tracking that, this account doubled in 4 months, which is sensational, absolutely sensational. So people would ask me, how can you make this kind of money? We're not used to this kind of money. How are these profits generated? Well, the markets do make these crazy numbers. I mean, the banks and the financial houses and institutions, they've been doing this all their lives. They take our money, put it to work, and they make the money and give us nothing. That's how it works. Now, when you're on the side of it that it's making money, we have to ask these questions. How can they make all this money? Here's a website called CoinMarketCap you may or may not be familiar with. It's an aggregated website that pulls together all the prices from all the exchanges, so it gives you an average. And what it's saying here is that on this particular date, this one coin dogo went up 2,000% in a day. Now, Aurum might do this. Do you see the 0.60? Aurum might do 0.60 in a day, but this coin did 2,000% in a day. So this is high risk stuff. This is, this could go back down tomorrow. We're not in that game. They look for a little bit of profit. All the AI has to do is see some movement here, go in and grab a little bit of profit and come back out with it, and so that they don't risk the account. Here's Elevate did 800% in one day. Pepe Trump did 423% in one day, 400% in a day. So we were looking at 100% in 4 months, and we think that's spectacular. But look what the possibilities are here. So that may give you some kind of insight to the potential or of this crypto business. It's very, very volatile. But anyway, we would hope that the AI would keep its eye on things and keep itself positive. Now, that's called the EXI bot. They do have 8 or 9 of these. That's just one of them. I'm not going to go into the rest of them. There's one called the Pro bot. There's another one called the Zeus, and it trades the likes of Bitcoin on its own with the dollar, or Ethereum with the dollar, Solana with the dollar, these type of things. You can find out more about that yourself or attend one of the company presentations. They might talk about it. I'm just giving you a quick overview here. But that first one appears to be sensational. Again, the last thing I'd want to talk about today would be this card. I found this unusual as well because they're not asking for like your passport or your driver's license. They're not asking for a bank statement or utility bill. I thought that was quite strange. Normally, banks and these people, they would ask for your paperwork. But Brian Benson, I know he pulled it off. They're not asking for that. And this is a regulated bank. They will have 4 cards available. Ultimately, that's what I'm told. 2 of them will require KYC and 2 won't. This is one we're looking at. It's called the Affinity card. It doesn't. No KYC. KYC means know your client or know your customer. So no KYC required. You can transact up to 100,000 spending limit a month. I don't know who needs that kind of money, but 100,000 a month. If you go over 100,000, then they do want to know everything. They want to know, where did you get the money? Give us your passport, give us your driver's license, give us a bank statement. What do you call that? AMLD or anti-money laundering. They're going to go into all of that once it goes over 100,000. It does work on Apple and Google Pay. That enabled as well. It comes in the form of a virtual card. You can set it up in 2 minutes from your, as soon as you order it. They do have a physical card as well. That's generally given out at their events. It just depends on in Dubai. If you're at the offices, you can pick them up in the offices, or if you have somebody reliable that who's over there, they could collect it for you. But I think the logistics in that air zone at the moment isn't very, very good. So there doesn't seem to be anything posted out at the moment. But the virtual card is it works. You just double click the little button on the side of your phone and you tap it, so it works like that. And the benefit of this card is you could import cryptocurrency from anywhere. Let's say you had it on Binance or Coinbase or any of these exchanges or Trust Wallet. You can bring in your USDT to your Aurum account and sit and press top up button, and it sends the crypto up onto your Visa card. and that means you can go spend crypto wherever Visa and MasterCard are accepted. And that's what's exceptional. You don't have to use any of their trading products. You just use this product if you want. You could also, if you were using their trading products and you had some profits, you can withdraw the profit onto the card. So now you can spend your money. And then for the affiliate program as well, if you're interested in that side of things, let's say you got a commission or something, that also can go onto this card. So very, very interesting product, guys. I just wanted to give you an overview on that. I'm going to show you it working. This gentleman's from the UK. He got his card nearly a year ago. He got his card in June 2025. So he actually stopped his bot from trading, just turned it off. And then he withdrew the profit and pressed top up card. And the profits went onto this card. And here he was sent down to the shop to get some milk. Let's see how he got on.
Here we go then, second official transaction.
No, purple and white. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you, Mina.
Thank you.
There we go. Imagine having the flexibility or the ability to spend cryptocurrency anywhere in the world that accepts Visa, MasterCard. You don't have to go and find an exchanger. You don't have to do KYC. You don't have to try and cash out. You just do it with Aurum, and an incredible product. Definitely is. So that's what I wanted to cover tonight. Just an in-depth kind of look at the who's behind it and the CEO guy. Seems remarkable pedigree, a remarkable track record with Binance. There seems to be favorable reporting on it. Then we took a look at some of their products. Very, very interesting array of products to include gold, real estate, point of sale terminals, exchanges, Visa cards. They have lots of products, which is exceptional. Lots of companies talk about building ecosystems, but there never is one, or they never get to have one. This appears to be a company that already has all of these things in place before they start. And I like that, because then they're not looking for my money or your money to build their infrastructure. They've already got all of this stuff. So that's quite interesting as well. They do have events, live events, where you can qualify to go meet them, hang out with them for a few days somewhere in the world, meet the owners and things like that. But for those of you who asked about the affiliate program, if you don't mind, give me 5 minutes. I'll run that past you. For those of you that aren't interested in affiliate programs, you're good to go. But just give me a few minutes to explain their partner program. Affiliate programs are very, very popular. Most companies have one. Apple have one. Binance have one. And as I said earlier, I think the biggest one, or the most famous one now, would be Amazon. And what an affiliate program is, it's very, very simple. Companies today are forced, I suppose, to advertise heavily on the internet. They pay Google for getting their name out in front of customers, and all these analytics that try and get you as a customer. They spend hundreds of thousands on the internet trying to get customers. Facebook marketing, television advertising. These are the traditional mechanisms. But what an affiliate program is, the company gave you a handshake or a reward because you made a recommendation. And we recommend things every day of our lives. TV programs, holiday destinations, car mechanics, everything. We're walking, talking advertising machines, and we never get paid for it. But here, if somebody, or if you liked a product and you told somebody about it and they use your referral link, you would get a handshake. You would get a bonus for that, because they didn't pay Google. They didn't pay Facebook. They didn't pay TV. Like Crypto.com sponsored the Super Bowl. But it just came up Crypto.com everywhere. But people were watching the Super Bowl. They weren't interested in Crypto.com. It just brands the name. Nobody stopped and set up an account. They watched the game. So instead of spending money like that, Aurum have decided there's nobody better to reward than an existing happy customer. Because if you're happy and you like it, you'll tell people. If you're not happy, you won't tell anybody. So this career system is pretty cool that way. Now, what I liked about it is it's free. It doesn't cost anything. So I think that's very fair as well. When you have a neobank account with these guys, they have a referral link in your back office, and you either opt to use it or not. That's your choice. If you don't use it, that's totally fine. Somebody else will register a customer. They'll get the commission of both portion. Now, they have 15 ranks in their affiliate program. The first one's called Nova. Nova means new. Like the new star in the sky is normally referred to as the Nova star. Maybe you're the new star in this business. But anyway, everybody starts as Nova. And if a customer decided to use your referral link to register an account, you would get 3% on the deposit. It's a one-time thing, just 3%. It's not going to get you rich, but you could have, if the customer made a second deposit, say in a month's time or 2 months' time, they make another deposit. Every time they make a deposit, you're getting that 3%. So not a bad little bonus. You might only have 1 or 2 customers. You could have 7 or 8 customers. You might have 50 customers. You can have as many as you want. It's not a multi-level thing. It's a one-tier thing. You can have as many customers as you like, just like Amazon. Now, if you'd like a pay rise, lots of people like pay rises. Instead of 3%, you can qualify for a 5% bonus. And to do that, you require 7,500 of total trading inside your entire group. So that's not just your customers. You might have 2 or 3 customers. It's their customers and theirs and theirs and theirs and all customers to infinity. When the total volume trading that originated from your link is 7,500, you become what's known as Voyager. You get a pay rise from 3%. You now get 5% on deposits. If one of your customers makes a referral, they get the 3% because they're the new Nova. You get the difference. You get that 2% to infinity generations on every single deposit that comes here. You also get a $100 bonus instantly. You don't wait or ask or wait to the end of the month. No. As soon as it's achieved, it hits your account by smart contract instantly. And you get another bonus over here on the right-hand side. It's called Profit from Team Profit. I prefer to call it a daily matching bonus. So every day that your customers make money, you get a 5% equal match to that. Let's hypothetically suggest I'm your customer. I make $100 tomorrow. You get $5, 5%. If I make $100 the next day, you get another $5, 5%. But you get that on all of your customers, and then all of theirs, and all of theirs, and all of theirs to infinity generations in depth. As long as you're the only Voyager on that line, you're getting that 5% on every profit by every customer, which is, well, it could be sensational, couldn't it? Now, for those of you that want more than 5%, you can get 7%. How? Well, you require 2 Voyagers in your team, but you don't have to introduce them yourself. They could be anywhere in depth, as long as they're on 2 separate lines. And when that 7,500 of trading volume matures and grows to 25,000 in total, that's when the Vanguard bonus kicks in. You get 7% on deposits. If one of your customers refers a customer, they're going to get 3 because they're new, Novas. You get 4%. You get the difference between 7 and 3, 4% to infinity on every single deposit. You get a $500 instant cash bonus. And now your daily matching bonus is increased to 7.5% on everybody's profits to infinity, except when you hit one of those Voyagers. Let's hypothetically suggest the Voyager popped up on a 4th generation. You don't know who it is, right? So you're going to get 7.5% on your own customer that you introduced on their profit. You're going to get 7.5% on the next customer, 7.5% on the next customer. And then we reach this Voyager person, right? You get 7.5% on them as well. But the Voyager now is picking up 5%, as you can see. They get 5% on his group to infinity. You get the difference. You get 2.5% on top of his 5 to infinity generations. So you're going to get 7.5% on all what we call open lines or open volume. But when you hit a Voyager, you're reduced to 2.5% to infinity, but 7.5% up to the Voyager, including the Voyager, and then 2.5% to infinity. So it's all about trying to stay ahead of the team to have that overriding bonus is how this works. Now, it is pretty simple. Even if you don't understand it, the software understands it. So, you can earn money whilst you're learning how this works. I mean, if you get a $100 bonus tomorrow, you'll soon find out, oh, I went Voyager. Well, how did I do that? I can see I've 7.5. So you'll start to learn it by itself. You don't have to understand it to start with this. Now, don't be misled that these earnings are easily achieved. There's hard work. It depends on skills that you might have. You might have to spend a little bit of time turning off the television or, and focusing on your business. People will get different results depending on their efforts. And that's the same for everybody. And of course, there's some people aren't even interested in this, and that's fine as well. But if you've understood basically what I've covered in those first 3 promotions there, the rest is just similar. You need a little bit more volume, a little bit more structure to go Vanguard Pro, another little bit of volume and more structure to go Nexus, more volume and structure to go Oregon. Each rank you hit, you get a pay rise. You can see it going 9%, 10.5%, 12%, 13.5%. And these cash bonuses look interesting as well. $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 instant bonus, $10,000 instant bonus. And you did hear me say there are 15 ranks. Let's have a look. That's just 7. The next one is Elite. They get 20,000. Magnet get 50,000 bonuses. Mythos get 100,000 bonus. Legends get 150. I mean, this sounds ridiculous, but I was actually speaking to somebody last week that got that bonus. And of course, if you want to be one of Brian Benson's millionaires, we did hear from him. He wants to create 1,000 millionaires. But I've no doubt if you do the work and build up through those ranks, you hit that Dominion rank with that $500,000 bonus on top of the 150 already received and the 100 and the 50. I mean, there's $820,000 in instant bonuses. Never mind the direct sales bonus. Never mind the daily profits. Never mind the shareholder bonus. I mean, you're definitely one of Brian Benson's millionaires if you hit that Dominion rank. Again, not everybody wants to do that. Some people are happy with an extra, I don't know, $100 a week. An extra $400 a month would make a big difference to many households. There's other people who would prefer $100 every day. That's doable. $700 a week, 2,000 or 3,000 a month. That's quite good. But then there are those people out there that are willing to roll their sleeves up and go to work and shoot for the top here. And again, that's your decision, your prerogative. But that's all I wanted to cover. I think I've given a fair enough overview. Again, please get your very valid questions answers. Do make an informed decision. Do seek professional advice and do your own due diligence. And I hope the decision you come to is the right one for you and for your family. And with that said, thank you again. And we see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.